The spectrum has been allocated, the technology now exists, the money is there to do this without using a cent of taxpayers' money. It's essential that we put the tools that technology can now deliver and that the private sector can now finance, that we put those tools into the hands of public safety and first responders so that they can do their jobs much more effectively.
Well, I was Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff on 9/11 when the two airliners crashed into the World Trade Center. And of course, public safety communications there was a real problem between first responders, fire, police, and other folks that were trying to manage that crisis.
So the company was launched with that in mind, to offer public safety communication, particularly in crisis situations.
And if you think about technology 30 years ago, it was very antiquated. We didn't have the interoperability, but we had the interoperability issues. That's been around. It's nothing new.
So the 9/11 Commission that was established in the immediate aftermath of the tragedy highlighted as one of its recommendations that we as a nation had to get our act together with respect to public safety communications.
When Katrina hit landfall, I was the Deputy Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security. And we were struggling to know what was going on, to communicate among the federal employees that were working and managing this, but also the state and the local community.
I cannot stress enough how we need to introduce the kind of communications which can cope when times are really difficult.
I think people that are responsible, governors and other state officials, even federal officials, want the infrastructure to help in times of crisis, because we're talking about people's lives here.
The kind of communication systems which we need are actually not expensive when you work out just what damage can be done by other people or elements.
Today, there's no excuse to have fundamental failures of communication among first responders, especially during times of crisis. The tools are available for us, the technology is available for us. The post-9/11 experience of governmental agencies has formulated methods for collaboration that are real.
And I think one of the things that helps Rivada with their solution right now is it doesn't require any capital investment. So it's a solution that's around an arbitrage program that will sell off the unneeded spectrum to carriers who need it, and fund the whole system.
This is an opportunity to have a company come in and efficiently manage this so that the public sector gets the emergency network that it needs on a 24/7 basis. And the state can sell and thereby create new revenue.
The Rivada model is very different. At the end of the day, the US states will actually make money out of this because they own a block of frequency that can be used for commercial purposes.
It's about having a public safety network that facilitates a capability for those first responders to maximize their mission, at the other end of the day, to allow the firefighters to do the best job they can, to allow the emergency medical technicians to do the best job they can, to allow the police officers to do the best job they can. And then when necessary, which is often the case with these big nightmarish events, to gain the additional capability that could be represented by federal assets coming to the scene, state assets coming to the scene, or the local assets from the city next door who you have entered some kind of an agreement with, and when you need them, they'll be there, and vice versa.
And Rivada Networks is very much committed to bringing to the public safety community a new way of being able to communicate, a new way of being interoperable, because we ultimately understand that whether we're talking about a minor, small-scale event in a community or whether we're talking about a large nationwide catastrophic event, it's essential that our first responders have the ability to be able to communicate in a timely way, in an effective way, and in an interoperable way. And that is a commitment of Rivada, and therefore I've decided to put my time and effort into their board.